School is a violation of the human spirit. School is a violation of the human spirit. You were not meant to sit in a box and be quiet and be still. And children know that. So they move. That's a violation to do that in school. All of us in this room right now, we can leave here and walk to California. I don't care what kind of medicine you're on. I don't care what kind of condition you're in. The secret is you have to do it at your own pace. The problem is when I'm doing it at somebody else's pace. You might be able to run or walk and average 50, 60 miles a day. I might just do 2 miles a day. The important thing is I get there. That's why the super rich people would never send their children to a school with. They have private schools where you do it at your pace. This is a game they play. And so they have to have recess or the thing would blow up.
Rob, do you agree with the video?
I'm kind of 50-50.
I disagree.
I'm more 50-50. Similar to Rug, and so I can agree with Jessica on that. There's parts I definitely disagree with, but there's some truth to what he's saying as well.
All right, so let's get back to Rucker. Go ahead, explain why you said 50-50. You muted.
Okay, here I go. Doing the same thing. Like old me and understanding what was taught.
Oh, you got background noise. You might have to get in the quiet area so we can hear you better if you get a chance. All right, let's go with Jessica.
So I disagree. He mentioned that the wealthy send their kids to private school because they can work at their own pace or they get it at their own pace. And I went to a private school, and that's actually not the case. Your curriculum was completely, it was overwhelming because they want you to grasp knowledge quicker in order to prepare you for college. So I don't agree with that. And then as far as saying kids don't want to sit still in the classroom because their natural instinct is to get up and move around, I have to ask the question, so why is it that in a classroom of 30, only 2 want to get up and run around, and the rest of the class is okay with sitting and learning from the instructor? So I don't agree with him saying that it violates the human spirit. I think some kids just don't have enough control and discipline.
Okay. All right, you in the quiet area, Rucker? Are you able to? Are you not? Okay. All right, let's get Vulcan in here.
So yeah, I think Jessica brings up a really good point. I think he is overestimating what private schools are able to do. But I think the bigger point is when he says that we weren't made to do that, we weren't designed to sit down for long periods of time. I don't know what he means by that exactly, but a lot of times if you work a desk job, you're going to spend hours sitting down. That's not our entire life to sit down all the time, but we need to know how to do both. We need to know how to sit down without moving. We know how to move around. Part of the problem in our society today is that we're too sedentary at a certain age. We don't do enough moving around. So my issue with what he's saying is a little too absolute. We need to know how to do both. I think for a lot of people, especially a lot of young African American boys and boys in general, is that we struggle sitting down. We need school to get us to sit down because otherwise we're going to struggle with that in life. A lot of us are diagnosed with ADHD, and I'd agree with Dr. Umar and the rest of them that a lot of us are overly diagnosed, and it's not a real problem just because we can't sit down, but it is a skill. You sitting in church, I done got pinched, I done got popped by grandma and them, so I wasn't sitting still. So I would say that he's a little overzealous in that point. Agreed. To Jessica's point, a little overzealous in what he thinks private school would do as well. And I can't remember another point. There's another point I was going to address that he made, but I can't recall it right now. But in short, I just say that I think that he has a good point. about learning should. Oh yeah, the pace. I want to address the pace part that he mentions. You know, the reality is this. You know, even if we were to slow school down so kids can be at their own pace, they still got to go out into the workforce.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually the next question. So you're already.
All right, sorry. Go ahead then.
Yeah. So is it better? Is it better for society? Oh, hold on. Let me read the comments first. Run Your Mouth Fresh says that style of learning. Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about right now. Fresh. That style of learning pace prepares children to interact with the real world as an average person who is held to the production standards of mass employer. All right. Facts Fresh, Help the Bears agreeing. Different ways to learn. Most people are doing exactly what he's talking about now. Due to the pandemic, we will see how that works out for us in a few decades. Also, Help the Bear said the desk, a desk so you can stand up and move around is a thing, for sure, for sure. So the question is for the panel: Is it better for society? Is it better for society if kids learn at their own pace? Let's start with Jessica.
I'll say yes, and the reason is because so naturally there are kids who are a little bit slower, and this might sound really bad, but those kids could be there are different skill sets needed for certain jobs. So let's just say a kid that learns at a quicker pace, they could potentially be your doctor, your lawyer, etc. And those who learn at a slower pace can be your bag boy or the person that works at McDonald's. So potentially
we getting canceled.
We are. Sorry.
Run your mouth fresh said not the slow ones. Go ahead. Continue, Justin.
So it could be beneficial because there are jobs that need to be filled. But I think it ultimately depends on the person and their will to succeed and do something more. So
okay.
Yeah, obviously with schools, we're already not going at the fastest pace. That's why they have advanced classes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already not going that fast.
Let's ask another question then. Is the education for the rich much better? What you got, Jessica?
I don't say it's better. I really feel like higher education is BS, but I don't think it's for the better. I think having elite colleges or attending Ivy League colleges puts you in a certain arena, but I don't think the actual information you receive in class makes the person better or makes them better or anything like that. That makes sense.
Yeah, I guess I could agree to a certain degree. I would question. Hold on, let me read. Comments Run Your Mouth Fresh says Jessica is right. Somebody has to flip the double patty steroid burgers. Okay, yeah, I wonder because I actually know a principal. He's a principal of a private school, and he told me that. I guess you could say rich people that's able to afford private school. So that's you have to have a certain amount of income to be able to attend those schools. And he said that it's not worth sending your kids to a private elementary school. Is not worth their money. You're better off waiting maybe middle school, high school. You can probably get more for your buck then. So I would say elementary from what my friend said as a principal is not necessarily better than public school. Well, he did suggest that if you are going to go to a public school, make sure you invest and get a house that's in a good area, that high ranking, and those schools are just as good as the private schools. Bring Boca back in here. Vulcan, I don't know if you heard the question. The question is the education for the rich that much better?
Well, the difficulty with this question is, we can have a lens more American, which is going to definitely change the flavor of the conversation. But for most of the world, somebody on welfare in America is rich.
Mm-hmm.
Free education is rich. Free lunch is rich.
Oh, you said compare it to the rest of the world, right?
Free books, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Free books is rich. Free calculators is rich.
Yeah, because in different countries, you have places I've seen on YouTube where in places in Europe and sub-Saharan Africa, they walk with like 5 miles, 10 miles to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
then it's not many books in that school where they walk into. Go ahead, Vulcan.
So my point is just saying, like, how based on how we're defining the word rich is going to tell us a lot, because we would definitely be rich by most standards.
Mm-hmm.
So that being the case, I think it definitely does matter. Now, when you just talk about just the Western world, you compare, the worst school I've ever been to the best school I've been to. There's definitely differences. There's difference in the learning experience, the learning environment, the types of kids that are there with you to distract you, their value systems, what you get made fun of for. Those things are all going to change how you get educated. The quality of the teachers get paid a little bit different, or I know teachers want to work in certain districts, but they don't get to work in certain districts. Teachers that come from that need that have loans get their loans paid for by working in certain districts. Mm-hmm. So you would imagine these teachers don't come from affluent families, so they have debt.
Mm-hmm.
You get a different caliber of teacher depending on. So all that stuff does affect the quality of education.
Mm-hmm. And I guess to answer one of the questions I asked earlier, as far as is it better to work at our own pace? I didn't get a chance to answer. I would say no. This is, especially here in this capitalist society, the strongest, the smartest, the competent usually wins the race. So I think it's best to try to compete. If you do it at your own pace, you're not actually competing. The more you're able to compete, the better chance you have in your best self come out in those situations.
I just want to quote one of my favorite American scholars, and he was saying that when he first got to Harvard, I think he had a roommate, and so this guy was good enough to get into Harvard, right? And his roommate saw him, studying and doing his thing, and he was like, "Hey, look, man, if you continue to be like that, you won't make it here."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that guy stepped up his game when it comes to how he approaches education and the pace that he was going to go. And he became one of the greatest scholars in American history. Yeah. But the thing is that he attributes his success to that other student saying that pace won't work here.
See, so that's what I have to say. It's not just competence; it's actually work ethic. Work ethic has a lot to do with it. So, working being more efficient.
We're not on the same competency level. So one kid may not have to study at all when he goes home. Mm-hmm. One kid may have to put in some hours.
Mm-hmm. Then you just froze it. You want to add anything, Jessica?
I don't. I agree with the points.
Definitely. Let me read the comment. Says Run Your Mouth Fresh said the best education is the one that prepares us for the future that fits. Rich people send their kids to better schools and still get mixed bag of hard work, success stories, and lazy cokeheads.
Ooh, not the cokeheads.
Help the Bear said facts. There's no rule book to this game called life. It's somewhat a roll of dice. I want you to kind of elaborate on that. Right, Vulcan, we're talking about practice, and some people need to definitely take their butt to practice. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, not everybody on the same level as competence. One thing that you can count on is your hard work, and you can definitely accomplish those things. You got anything you want to say else to Vulcan?
No, I don't have anything else to say. I'm ready to move on.
Oh, definitely. So let's get into this. Snap. Hold on for a minute. All right, so I see. All right, so Minister Farrakhan used, this is the topic he used. Yes, I'm just quoting him right now.
I'm here to stand on my soapbox and proclaim that to the world.
On this show.
This is the hottest show on the planet right now.
What's the debate?
Ain't no debate.
Stop. Hey, dude, come on.
Really though?
Come on, bro.
For really though? No, for real.
Bringing it to you raw.